Hey everybody, so for the last couple of weeks I've been getting messages from you guys saying basically, Lachlan, I want to get into photography. What should I buy and how should I start? So I've decided to dedicate all of today's vlog to proving to you how underqualified I am to answer by giving you my opinion. If you're only just now getting into photography, I would actually recommend getting out your smartphone before picking up any other kind of camera because your smartphone camera is actually pretty good. Just take a second to think about Instagram, an app built for smartphones made popular by smartphone users based almost entirely on the premise that smartphone cameras take decent images, not always great images, but decent images. Besides, a lot of pro photographers say that the best camera you can have is the one that you have on you, and I mean, when do we not have one of these on us in 2015? Anyway, the limitations of a smartphone camera actually helps you to focus on some of the very basics of photography, like subject, composition, lighting, and how to focus, even if it's just using the tap to focus on your smartphone camera. But once you think you've done enough iPhoneography and you think that you're ready for a proper camera, it's time to take a trip to the App Store on your phone. Why? Because smartphone cameras are pretty good, and some of the limitations that the default camera apps give you can actually be removed by downloading a nice manual camera app like the one that I use, which is actually called Manual. They allow you to take a finer level of control over things like focusing distance, ISO, and shutter speed, a couple of features that actually feature very heavily on actual DSLRs, and they can help to ease you into the DSLR feature set for later. In my opinion, one of the best things about manual camera apps is that they cost between $3 and $4 to $5, where a DSLR could set you back $500 plus. But eventually you're going to think to yourself, you know what, I've had enough. I've gotten my $5 worth, and it's time for me to get a decent camera, and that means it's finally time to take a trip to the camera store and buy literally anything you see. There are literally so many options for entry-level DSLRs and even mirrorless camera setups that it almost doesn't matter which one you pick, just so long as from the very start you don't decide to go out with a 5D Mark III and telephoto lenses and prime lenses, because you don't need any of those to get started. My first proper camera, the Canon EOS-M, came with an 18 to 55mm lens known as a kit lens, and every camera is going to basically come with a kit lens that's either 18 to 55 or 18 to 135mm, and that combined with a body is going to give you enough DSLR pro features and enough focal length coverage that you're going to have a very good time learning how to take photos with it. Personally, a Canon 6 or 700D with a kit lens is probably going to be the best way to get started in actual proper DSLR photography, although maybe further down the line you might want to buy yourself something like a fast prime, a 35 or 50mm lens, but really that's it. After that point, you really only want to buy more lenses and better bodies if, I mean, it's really super cheap, or if you are really going to specialize in photography. So that's my take on how to get started in photography. Start off with a smartphone, continue with a smartphone, and then get yourself a basic DSLR or mirrorless camera with a kit lens. I'm going to be leaving some links in the description of this video to some actual decent photography resources, both YouTube channels and articles, so make sure you go and check those out in the description below. And while you're down there, if you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up, and also make sure you subscribe so you never miss another video from me. But that's about it from me for now, so I want to thank you guys very much for watching, and I hope that I will see you all in the next video, and I also hope you're having a wonderful day/evening. But for now, goodbye, Internet.